Yo, 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 what's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike and your boy Nick from the Nothing But Niners crew, and we are back, man. I'm in a zone right now, man. I'm back in the cave, guys. This is where the magic all started over here. Actually, it's not where it started. It started at my other house, but right now we here. All right, so guys, we want to thank you guys for checking us out tonight. My man Nick is here. Ali is going to be popping in at some point. I am 49ers Mike _NFL on Twitter. My man Nick is 49er Faithful 365 all day, every day. The main page is nothing but the number 9 ERS. And guys, we are everywhere you want to be. Check out the website for more information, guys. It is www.nothingbutniners.com. Spelled all the way out. There's no numbers in there anywhere. You're going to see our Twitter, our Snapchat. Again, nothing but the number 9 ERS. You can see our Facebook and our Instagram. Nothing but Niners, no numbers in there anywhere. You're going to see all that good stuff. You're going to see articles written by a bunch of great people, okay? You guys are going to see the About Us page. You can find out a little bit more information about us crazy guys who are behind the scenes working on things for you guys, all right? Guys, I'm done talking already. I don't have much else to say. Hey, Nick, what's going on over there, baby? How you feeling?
What up, what up, what up, what up? I'm feeling good, man. I got some sun and some beach in today. Relaxation with my mother at the beach today. A little mom and son day. So that was good, but I'm excited to get into some of these questions. We got some good questions tonight. I saw popping in. If you guys haven't already asked a question, we're only going to be taking questions from our Twitter, our YouTube posts, and our Instagram posts. So go over there, check that out. Basically, it's any question you have for us, just send it over on there. We'll be watching the chat here and there, but mainly questions will be coming from the post that we did there. But yeah, man, super excited.
Absolutely, man. So listen, I'm going to pull up the I'll pull up the YouTube questions that are there. And if you can, pull up the ones from Twitter. All right, and we'll work those in there. Let's have some fun with this, man. We're gonna drag this out. We're gonna do some talking here. By the way, guys, I know I've been promising you guys some new content, some different content. So let me give you guys a little peek behind the curtain at what we're working on over here. Okay, you guys, for those of you who have been subscribers and you have been with us for the last 2 seasons, you guys know that we have partnered up with the Fangirl Sports Network to bring you guys behind enemy lines. And what we do is Tracy Sandler, 49ers Fangirl on Twitter. What she started was an entire network for basically every major league team, NHL, NFL, NBA. I believe she's even starting some with the college teams and all. So she is out there. She's busy. She's working hard. And so what we've done is we've partnered up with her and her entire crew. It's all Fangirl Sports Network. What they do is they have these young women who are out there and they cover the teams. They have good insight on the teams and things like that. We usually bring you guys our segment called Behind Enemy Lines. And what we do there is we give you guys some insight on our upcoming opponents. So what we're going to bring to you guys starting this week or early next week is that we're going to start. It's going to be, we haven't worked out a title yet. But it's going to be like a getting to know your opponent type of thing. And we're going to start with preseason. We're going to do the first one with the Dallas Cowboys fangirl. All right. And she's going to talk to us about the additions that the Cowboys have made in the offseason and things like that. It's going to be getting to know. It's not going to be predicting scores or anything like that. It's way too early for all of that. We haven't even had any preseason. But the key additions, the key losses for each and every team that we are going to face this year. We're going to start in preseason and work our way all the way through to week 17. All right. Now, you got to remember that we play a lot of these opponents twice, so we are not going to have a full 20 games to discuss. All right. So when we get to the Cardinals fangirl, the Seahawks fangirl, and the Rams fangirls, they're not going to come on here twice. So we're going to just keep it all going that way. And then we will still bring you guys a Behind Enemy Line segment. We are also working on trying to get a couple of guests secured for you guys as well. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys are locked in. You got to hit that bell so you get the notifications for when we're going live, okay? My man Ali jumped in here. Ali, what's going on, baby? Prince Ali, Marvelous Team. What's up, kid? How you feeling?
What's up? What's going on? How's everyone doing today? Everyone doing good?
Yeah, man, we're good over here. We're great. We're chilling, man.
That's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. I'm excited to come on here, talk some 49ers football. It's been a while, man. We got 1 month to go, basically. This July month is dry. There's nothing going on in terms of 49ers football for July. July is like that one last month before things pick up, and then you got training camp starting, and then preseason, and then we're good to go. So this 1 month, gonna try and pray that July goes by quickly so we can get some 49ers football, man.
Absolutely, man. 11 weeks until week 1. So let's hope for the best and get that all out of the way. You know what I mean? I know you're talking about preseason, but I'm looking at the big picture, man. I'm ready for some action. I want it to count, you know?
I like preseason, though. I don't mind it. Like, I'll you know me, I'll watch every game, man. Back when we started this, I overreacted on a preseason game. Denver, if you don't remember, we were playing Denver. I specifically remember the game too. And so preseason's still a good chance to see some of the boys, see if some guys can stand out, and you know, it's gonna be it's a good time to get everyone healthy and get them going, man.
Absolutely. Nick, man, any feedback for Ali over there before we jump into this?
Look, man, I'm excited for preseason. I'm with Ali on that. I'm excited for preseason to start, to see what kind of standout what kind of standouts we're gonna have, and with those standouts, who is going to stay with the team. We all know Marcus Rush had a big year 1 year, and then next thing you know, he was cut. So it's gonna be interesting, man. This battles that are coming up is going to be extremely interesting, whether it be the receivers, running backs, even the number 2 quarterback spot. Just a lot of excitement to watch for other than games.
Sorry, couldn't get off of mute fast enough there. Rough transition, but we're working out the kinks, guys. Don't worry. All right, so let's jump into this. We have our mailbag. You guys have asked a couple of questions, so we're going to get right to it. Nick, do you want to kick it off with one of the ones you got, or you want me to start over here?
Go ahead. You can start off.
All right. So this one is from, let me see if I can zoom in on the name here. Bear with me. My apologies. All right. Open it up. This one is from Jordan Rice. That's the YouTube name. All right. It says, do you think our players with injuries, Hurd, Alexander, and Jet, are going to miss any regular season games? And he ends it with love the show. Flexing on them. All right. So what do you guys think there, man? It's a very simple question. And give us a why or why not, so that we're not just basically breezing through this. Do you think any of the players with injuries are going to miss any regular season games?
I'll take the lead. I don't think they will. I think McKinnon's Shanahan was saying that he should be on track for training camp. I think Alexander's the only one that worries me a little bit. If he can get a couple of reps in preseason, I'll feel a lot better about him. And Hurd, I don't even know what's wrong with Hurd. Do you know what's wrong with Hurd, Nick?
I couldn't hear who you said. With who?
With Hurd. I don't even know what's wrong with Hurd.
Oh, Hurd's still just rehabbing his knee injury, his ACL.
Oh, because he tore it last year?
Yeah, from college.
Okay. So I have no idea his injury or the timeline on his injury, so I am not sure about him. When did he tear it?
It was earlier in the year, so it's not that he's not. I think he participated in rookie minicamp. I think they're just holding him out for precautions heading into the training camp.
Okay. Yeah, so I can't give an answer because I'm not too sure about Hurd, but I think hopefully that they should be all ready to go to fire the season up, because this is a big one, to say the least. This is a big one, to say the least, for this 49er season here.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you. I think Kwon Alexander will be okay. I think the one I'm worried about is Jason Verrett, because he said, yes, we're on schedule. Yes, we're on schedule to come back training camp, but I'm taking it day by day. As he hopes to be back by training camp, I guess was his words. training staff, he's taking it day by day. He was staying there, another week or so to get things on schedule. But probably the one who worries me the most is probably Jason Verrett compared to Kwon Alexander. I don't think we're going to see as much of Hurd this year as people think we're going to see. I think he's going to kind of be sprinkled in here and there until the season starts to progress. And I think if an injury happens is when he'll get his time to shine. So those two are probably the two main concerns, is Verrett and Hurd on my part.
Yeah, so Hurd had like a knee injury of some kind. I think he'll be fine, though. I think they're keeping him out for precautions. He also asked about Alexander and Jet. I know Nick touched on other people, but let me get to those first three. I think Hurd will be fine. I think he's just out, like I said, for precaution's sake. When it comes to Alexander, he is the one that worries me the most out of the entire group, actually. I feel like his injury was the most recent. And we're hoping that he can bounce back good, but we're not 100% sure about that. So we'll see what happens. But if he does miss any time, I think it'll be very, very early in the season. I know that's the game that's supposed to be like the important one to him, but I don't think the team is going to let him rush back. They talk about how fiery he is on the sideline. They have to like calm him down and stuff like that. And this is just watching the practices and things like that because he can't fully participate. But this doesn't feel like it's just precautionary to me. This feels like he is not to the point where he can get out there yet. Now, there's a lot of time. I just told you guys there's 11 weeks. That's basically 3 months before week 1. A lot can change in that time. So if he is out there, he's definitely going to be a percentage of his 100% self. He won't be up to par, but maybe he can contribute. But I think that if there's anyone who is probably going to miss time, it's him. As far as Jet goes, I don't think that he's going to miss time due to injury. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to get into my crazy conspiracy theories or anything, but I don't think he's going to miss time due to injuries. I think he'll be okay. His injury happened before Jimmy Garoppolo's, and Jimmy is on pace to be out there playing. So I'm not worried about Jimmy either. The other guys that I know that are injured are Richard Sherman's not injured anymore, so he should be fine. Jason Verrett. I'm not sure. Do you guys know what Jason Verrett's most recent injury was?
Achilles.
It's the Achilles also?
Yeah.
Well, he should be back.
Well, he tore his Achilles in training camp or something last year, right?
Yeah.
So it's been about a year now. So, and that's usually what it takes to get back to feeling good with that injury, because in my opinion, I think the Achilles, and I'm no doctor, but I think the Achilles in terms of sports related is harder to come back from than an ACL nowadays. I don't know if you guys agree with that or disagree, but the one that scares me and that I do not think I don't think will be ready week 1 is Jimmy Ward with his collarbone. I don't think.
And you're scared of that?
I'm not scared, but I know what you're trying to get at. I know what you mean, but
don't let him do that, Ali. Jimmy Ward is one of our best players when healthy. Don't let him do that to you, bro. Yeah, you should be scared about it, especially because our secondary is weak. It's thin. We should be worried about that.
I'm not a big Jimmy Ward fan, so that's fine. If he's out, he's out. Give someone else that spot.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit, Ali.
Not gonna go there. I'm not gonna bite. But yeah, Jimmy Ward is probably gonna miss some time. Also, that's a very good point. I actually forgot about his injury. For what it's worth, I forgot he was on the roster. Honestly,
he's always injured, man. Just assume from now on.
Yeah, but this guy has made $14 million the last 2 years or something like that, right? What did they bring him back on? A 1 year? Was it $3 or $4 million deal?
Yeah, 3.5, 3.9.
And then he got 8 or 9 from his last year, right? For that
8.5, yeah.
Yeah, he's making too much money. They're going to try to put him out there, but I don't know how ready he's going to be. So Ali had an excellent point with that one, man. I like your train of thought there. So yeah, him and Alexander are probably the two biggest worries I have. I can't think of anyone else that's really doing anything significant as far on the injury front.
What's up with Breida?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not worried about Breida. He's always nicked and dinged up. I think Breida will be fine. They just held him out for precaution. I believe that Mostert will be back and he'll be fine as well.
Oh, what about Bosa?
Yeah, that's all precaution. Everything is precaution. I actually heard. I can't remember who it was.
It was Deebo Samuel.
No. I was going to say I heard a coach say that if there was a game and Bosa had to play, he would be able to play. They're just keeping him out for precaution's sake. They just don't want to do anything.
That's what Debo was saying too on NFL Network. If it was a game week, I would have been able to play. So they're just keeping me out for precaution just to get us healthy going into the season.
Which is smart.
Yeah, and Breida is just his pec. He had a slight, I guess, a strain. I don't think it was a full tear. It was just a strain of his pec. So they just didn't want any contact or anything like that. I guess it's just being smart. Don't push the guys. Especially guys that have been here. Breida, most of the guys that aren't contributing are either rookies or Mostert's been here. Breida's been here. Guys that kind of know the playbook type.
Say his name, Nick. Who else has been here?
No.
Hashtag say his name.
No.
Jimmy Ward has been here too.
Yeah, but his isn't precautionary. The motherfucker got a broken collarbone. His ain't precautionary. And Jimmy Ward is always on the same. He's always on the same list. It's called the IR. So we'll see.
So you can kick us off with the next question. I think we did a good job answering that. Hopefully Jordan Rice was satisfied with that.
All right, so we got a few here, a few from the same people, but I'm gonna go with this one first. So Miss Debbie Ryan says, "Hey fellas, happy Sunday. How many running backs do you think we keep, and who will they be?"
Wow, who's gonna go first here? She said running backs, right? Not backs. Running
backs.
Oh,
it's pretty easy for me. I'm going with all four. I'm not including Juice in that because he's a fullback, but I'm going with obviously McKinnon, Breida, Coleman, and Mostert. Now, whether all four of them are active on game day or not, I'm still not sure about that. It really depends on how they're being utilized. But I'm definitely keeping those four on the roster.
Ali?
I'm right there with Nick. I think those four are my locks as well.
Yep, and I won't touch it. I completely agree.
The only thing is, remember Mostert had that ugly injury last year with his forearm, and he had to get that redone or something. He had to get something went wrong with it, right? So they had to.
It didn't place right in healing or something, so they had to go back and like re-break it and let it set again or something like that. But he had that done before training camp. The story came out in training camp that he had to get it done, and he tweeted out, "I just want to clear the air. I already had that done." The recovery from that was 6 weeks. He should be good once training camp gets here to resume his activity. So Mostert should be fine.
Okay. Yeah. So those are my four as well.
All right, I'll keep this thing moving here. I'll get the next one. I actually kind of skipped this one. This is going to be a long one if you guys want to do that. This is, I don't know. It's from Alan Wodgowski, a YouTube regular, Alan, and he says player stat projections. I don't know how you guys want to do this. How you guys want to play this one? It's a very broad question. Do you guys want to try to give us like a leader predictions maybe, or you want to step over this for now and come back to it? How do you guys want to handle this one?
I say we end the show with that one, with and do projected stats for players, and we'll just do quarterback.
Who we think the leaders will be at the skill positions. I say that's what we do.
Yeah,
and we'll also count tackles and turnovers on the defense. Let's try to do that. Tackles, sacks, and turnovers on the defense. All right, good shit. We'll circle back to that. I won't count that as one of mine, Nick. Let me go again here. Ricky Wright asked a question also in the chat, and he said, what is the progress with Jimmy Garoppolo and Jet? We already discussed that. So here it is. And this one we kind of also touched on. Do you think Kwon Alexander is going to be an issue in our defense? I think so. I think so. He misses a ton of tackles and has had low PFF grades every year. This is from the Housing. So the floor is yours, fellas. Take it away.
I'll start this one off. If you go back and watch Kwon Alexander's tape, I don't see that. Yes, there are a lot of tackles where he should be wrapping up or trying to make that tackle, and I think that we see that from our defense a lot. It's not just Kwon Alexander. We see it from up front. Well, pretty much the linebackers to the DBs to the safeties. When they're tackling it, it's just very non-fundamental, I guess you could say. It's not, the three-step wrap. It's not the three-step wrap, type of tackling. So when you go back and you watch Kwon Alexander, in my eyes, he's just so fast. He plays so fast, and a lot of the times he's there, and he comes off and he makes the tackle. Is in perfect angle to make a tackle, but he's going so fast, and either he over pursues or he hits and doesn't wrap up. And that's the problem that I've seen with Kwon Alexander. But when you go and you think about Chris Kosir coming here this year for defensive line, you got linebackers coach, and then you got Joe Woods coming in as well. And you heard Adrian Colbert talk about, Joe Woods and his getting back to fundamentals type of thing with tackles and footwork and handwork and stuff like that. I think that is going to be a big emphasis this year. And you saw it get better as the year went along here in San Francisco between, weeks 1 through 6. We weren't wrapping. And last year as well, we were missing tackles, quite often. So I think that's something that we did get better at last year, and I think it's something that we'll continue to get better. And I think we can. I would say, let's say I forget how many tackles he missed. I think it was like 100 and I forget what it was. Not 100. So, over his career was like 127 missed tackles or something like that. And I don't know if that's right on the number, so don't quote me on that. But let's just say, he comes in and he has, 80 tackle attempts, right? Let's just say last year I had 80 tackle attempts. I think or 80 missed tackles. I think that this year will cut down to at least half. I think half of his missed tackles will cut down this year.
All right, Ali, the floor is yours, man. Do you think he's going to be an issue? Are you concerned about the low PFF grades and missed tackles, man?
I'm not too concerned. I'm kind of going to follow up on Nick's thought here. I agree that I'm not too concerned with it. Me personally, I'm not a big PFF guy. So I'm not into those those kind of stats. So I just go off a lot of what I do is I go off of what I see. And from watching a little bit of Kwon Alexander, I really liked his pursuit to the ball. His angles can get a little bit better. But I feel like in this defense, because I don't think he was playing in the same style of defense as he's going to be playing in this new wide 9. I think the defensive line is going to do a lot of the grunt work to set to where it will be a lot easier for the linebackers, for Warner and Alexander. And I think that will be that will pay a lot big dividends. And I think our linebackers could get quite a few tackles this year. So and it definitely will alleviate some of the pressure off of the secondary as well. So I'm not too concerned with Alexander's missed tackles.
I'm not either. And so I just want to talk about it really quick. He had 78 missed tackles in the regular season throughout his career. And his PFF.
Oh, is that low for the whole career? I thought it was like 100 something.
No. It says 78 missed tackles. in regular season. So his PFF grades, if you're into that, they are a little bit concerning. His rookie year in 2015, his grade was a 38.8. 2016, which is his career high, a 68.4. 2017 was a 65.5, and then last season was a 59.1, but it was cut short week 7 last year when he tore his ACL. Wait, was it his ACL or his Achilles? Yeah, I think it was ACL. Never mind. All right, so what is it that makes Kwon Alexander special? So it's a loaded question. I'm going to try to walk you guys through my process here. He's a missile. You know, you think back to the plays that really excited you about Reuben Foster. Kwon Alexander is that. He takes the angles and he explodes to where it is. You know what I mean? So when he gets over there, it's a matter of, can he wrap up? He's going so fast. Is he trying to arm tackle? Is he running over pursuing someone? You know, those are the issues, and I think that's what causes a lot of missed tackles. All right. Ali alluded to some of the points I was going to say. I think our defensive line is going to help with a lot of this, making his assignments a lot more clear. You know, with his wide 9, there's going to be certain gaps that if the ball gets there, it's going to be obvious that it's coming that way. And so it's going to make his assignment a lot easier to detect. There's not rummage to sort through. You know, you don't have to try to get you don't have to try to dance and jump over the defensive lineman ahead of you. You know where the gaps are going to be because of the wide 9 style of play that we're going to be bringing here. So I think it makes his assignments easier. And then I think his injury could be a blessing in disguise. So much speed caused him to over pursue, try to make arm tackles and things like that. I think he loses a step here. I think he loses a step this season, and it causes him to slow down and be able to focus just a little bit more. So I think that am I concerned about it? In the back of my mind, I do think about it. I won't pretend like, oh, everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to break the way of the 49ers. But I think him slowing down and missing a step is going to make him more effective, make him more efficient in his movement. So I hope I answered that question for you guys. So that's what I got on that. Anyone else want to touch on something? I know a lot of times when people start talking, you think, oh, damn, I got one more thing to say about it. Anyone else before we toss it to Nick to ask a question? No? All right, Nick, floor is yours, bro. Next question.
All right, let's see here. All right. Samson Newstrom on Twitter. That's SAMSONNEUSTROM. Punter going to be a big difference maker? ? Thoughts?
I do. I'll start this one off. You guys have been starting off the whole time. Let me kick this one off here. All right. So part of this has to do with me trying to convince myself that the Niners did something good in the 4th round. Okay. I do believe that this punter is going to be someone that makes a big difference in field position battles. I think that he's going to allow our gunners to not necessarily over pursue. We saw a lot of our gunners last year, when healthy, running past guys and then having to try to come up from behind them and make tackles. I don't think that's going to be the issue this year. Grant Cohn, for people who hate Grant Cohn because you know his work, a lot of it seems to be negative, and immediately after the draft, he gave that grade an F. Couldn't stand the pick, but if you go back and you watch Grant, he's been privy to 3 open practices so far, and he has not had a single negative thing to say about the punter. There was one comment where he said, looks like he was trying some different types of kicks, and it looked like it came off the side of his foot and ended up being just a 34-yard punt. That was the one negative thing that Grant Cohn had to say. So take it for a grain of salt. He's not privy to all the practices. He's only seen 3, like I said. But for someone who, it's not even that Grant wants to be right. He doesn't bite his tongue about making bold predictions. He was against the pick all along. He felt we could have got a corner there or something like that. And then we didn't. We went with punter. He has had nothing but praises to say about this guy, Mitch Wishnowsky. So I think that it's going to make a huge difference. So Nick, go ahead.
Going off of what you said, if you listen to Mitch talk with Matt Mayoko on his podcast, Matt Mayoko asked a specific question. It says, now, do you have a knuckleball?
The 49ers Insider Podcast.
Yeah.
Latest episode, actually.
Yeah, so the latest episode. So if you listen to that, you heard him ask Mitch, do you have a knuckleball? And he says, well, it's not really technically a knuckleball. I have different ways that I hit a football. But it's just if there's one when you're doing, I think it was either a helicopter punt or the spiral punt. And he says if it comes off the foot, just a tad, to the side of where it should, it kind of looks like a knuckleball, but it's either it's gonna shank or you're gonna hit it right and it's gonna go right where you want it. So he says he puts a lot of work in on that. So, I heard Grant Cohn talking about, him having like a knuckleball type punt. And then I heard Mitch also say it's not really a knuckleball. It's just mainly I hit it wrong. And he said, you may kick such an amount of kicks and you're going to kick some wrong. You're just going to miss them. And he said that's what practice is for. But do I think this guy is going to help our team? Tremendously. I think it's going to be a tremendous amount of help. Not only, I don't want to say it's just because he's got a big foot, but he's got the mind. And that's what I like. Like when I was listening to that podcast, the way that he would talk and the way that when you watch tape, the way that he kicks the football, it literally goes where he wants it to go. And he practices certain things. He says, I know when I'm going to kick the ball and give a good hang time, not as much distance. I know when I'm going to put it to the right corner. I know when I'm going to put it to the left corner. I know exactly what kick I'm going to use to do that. Now, you don't really hear punters talk about that a lot. And that it could be something that, excuse me, it could be something that they do talk about, but we just don't hear it from other teams. But he has been working through, Aussie rules football and things like that, where everybody on the team is a punter, things like that. So he's been kicking the football a long time. Does it help that he has a huge foot? Yes. But if you look at his average punts, he was just about the same average punts as Bradley Pinion was. He's like 42, 43 yards, right? That's his average punts. The only place I see us benefiting is he has a bigger foot than Bradley Pinion. So that average could be lower, but when he needs to make that 50-yard punt, he can make that 50-yard punt, 50 plus, easily. The reason I think averages are so low for our punters is, and I've gone over this numerous times, is because Kyle Shanahan can move the football between the 20s. It's just a matter of when he starts to get down into that 40 to 20, then if you got a punt from there, closer to their side of the field, you're going to take average yards of punt away. So because obviously you have to punt it less. But do I think he's going to be a big help? Absolutely. I think his leg is fire. I think he knows his mindset is right on. He knowing what he has to do compared to just going out there and doing it. I think he's smart. I think he knows. I think he's going to know beforehand of what kind of punt he's going to need to do, field distance, things like that. So tremendous help, I believe.
Yeah, definitely excited to see him this year. I think he's going to change the field position for us dramatically. He is someone that, as just to build off your points, is that he has a big leg, and that's something that in an offensive league now, you want to utilize everything you can to your advantage to help your defense, right? Because the NFL, let's be honest, right now, it's all about points. We didn't see that in the Super Bowl, but it's they want to see scoring. To have someone on your team that is basically you can use as a weapon, not only for field position, but also some fake punts as well. We've seen some teams. I don't think we did a fake punt last year. Did we do a fake punt last year? No, I don't remember the last time we ran a fake punt. And
Kyle Shanahan has not attempted a single trick play. Like as far as fake punt, fake field goal, onside kick, I can't remember an onside kick even. And so it's something that I'm a little concerned with, but I do think that changes this season. So go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that he could be definitely utilized with that. So I'm super excited to see Wishnowsky. We got to come up with a nickname for him. Something that's a mouthful right there.
Mitch the Wish.
Mitch the Wish, or Mr. Wish. Grant us a wish or something. I don't know. The genie. We call him the genie.
Oh shit! There you go. Get that. Oh, Ali coming up. Ali, genie, you're turning this into Aladdin. I see what's happening here. Out in theaters right now, folks. Go check it out.
I need to see it.
You and me both, man. It was one of my favorites growing up.
Yeah, same.
I do want to add one more thing about Mitch here. I'm going to make a bold prediction here and guarantee that there is no punt return or kickoff return for a touchdown this year. 90% of the time in those situations, your kicker is your last line of defense, and those guys like to shy away from contact. This is a former rugby player. He ain't running away from anything. So I'm going to go out and make a bold prediction that no one returns a kick on us as long as he's the guy doing the kickoffs. It's not going to happen this year. So I'm going to put that out.
The punts.
No, I'm talking about kickoffs also. If he's
not doing kickoffs.
I said if he's doing kickoffs, I'm going to go out and make a bold prediction that no one returns any kind of kick. If he's not doing kickoffs, then obviously I can't count it because he's not going to be out there as the last line of defense. I don't know if he's going to be doing kickoffs or not, but I do know that he's going to be doing punts. No one's returning any punts on us. If by chance he earns a kickoff job also, no one's doing that. He's not going to shy away from contact. He's not going to go out there and half-ass it with the little reach or just try to slow him down so someone else can get there and recover. He's going full contact.
Yeah, I was just going off what he answered on your tweet when he said he's never done kickoffs and he's not doing kickoffs. So that's why.
No. My tweet was about field goals. I'm pretty sure I asked him about.
Field goals or kickoffs, if I can recall correctly. But it doesn't matter anyway. I was just saying. But I can agree with you. He's got a huge leg. I mean, the kid has a huge leg. I'm not really worried about trick plays. Like, to be honest, like. Will it be exciting if we go for it on like a 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 and let him run the football? Yeah, but I don't know. I've never been big on trick plays. They're cool to watch, though.
Absolutely. All right, man. The next question is on you, I believe. So take it away, Nick.
No, I just asked that one.
I was just kidding. I was seeing if you were paying attention, bro. See how I flip that real quick. All right.
The last point on Mitch, the more with the trick plays. Sorry, I know you were just about to ask that question. The more opportunities you give with Kyle Shanahan the ball, the better it is. So if we can get an extra couple possessions out of it, that could be a turning point of a game.
Absolutely. This next question is from Sports Reports. Nick, this one is directed right to you, buddy. And he wants to know, when are you going to grow your dreads out, man?
Yeah, soon. I wish I could. You remember I said I wish I could grow them shits out because I really would. Maybe I'll let my hair grow a little bit. Just let it go. And then maybe it will probably take me to get my hair grown out like pretty long, probably September, August for my hair to grow out. Probably not enough for dreads. I don't know. I've never had dreads, so I have no idea.
You guys are too much, man. People care too much about your guys' looks. Be bugging Mike about dreads. Be bugging you. You guys are public figures now, man. So
we're influencers, bro.
We're influencers. We need. I need that autograph when I meet you, bro.
Well, next time you say you're gonna come somewhere, just come. We'll sign something for you.
Exactly. You sign my Vernon Davis jersey.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame people coming to us about our looks on Nick. He's the one that started that whole thing with Dylan and his hair and everything. And since then, people have been like, what's this person wearing? What are they doing? Oh, I see the comments, man. I see it. I'm putting this all on Nick, man. I don't remember it happening much before then, so I'm going to say you started all that.
Bro,
we got Patrick Willis here. We got Patrick Willis.
Mike is the biggest on looks. Like, y'all don't know. Like, the other night, I should have, like, put him on camera. He's like this. Like, looking. And I should have just stopped talking so it went on him. But Mike is like, yo, my eyebrows on fleek. Like.
All right, so we're going on here. We got HD. We got like these bright lights. I got to make sure I got no tunnel goblins showing or anything like that. I like from my shirts. You ever see someone wearing a t-shirt or something and it's pulled to one side more than the other? My son is notorious for doing that. He wears a wife beater, and I always tease him. I say, hey, son, your bra strap is hanging out. He's got the shirt always the ones. I can't stand it, and I like things to be symmetrical. My background is bugging me because of this white stripe here, and there's no white stripe on this side. And I'm like, I've been trying to ignore it, like, you know, but like it's little things like that bother me.
Mike will have white sports tape up there tomorrow for the next show. Watch.
Now I gotta let it go to prove you wrong. I can't do it now. It's gonna bug me every time we go live. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just the type of person I am. You know, I do pay attention to it. And I want to set the record straight here. I have my tweet to Mitch. You know I had to look it up, Nick. You know I had to find my tweet to Mitch. It says, hey, Mitch, I've got a question for you, and I swear it'll stay between you, me, and Twitter only. Damn it, now I can't read it. Damn it. I'm gonna tweet this to you, Nick, and you read it, so that way I don't go back on my word. I don't like lying to players. So I'm gonna tweet this to you really quick, Nick.
And send it through me to WhatsApp so I don't have to close out the chat.
Oh, okay. Damn it, man. I said it'll stay between you, me, and Twitter only. I should not have. Why did I write that in a tweet to him? What was I thinking? Like, why would I? And more importantly, why is this coming up again ever? Like, this tweet should not be relevant at all. All right. So, Nick, you got it. I sent it to you. Ali, I tagged you in it also. You guys can – oh, look at my hair sticking up. You guys can check that out real quick and read it if you like. But I didn't do it. I kept my promise.
Oh, so he says, can you / have you want to / try to kick field goals? And Mitch says, haha, mate, I am certainly not a field goal kicker.
We got another mate, man. We got another mate. So, all right. That was a lot of fun there. So I don't know if he's going to be doing kickoffs. I should have asked him that. Maybe next time I see him on Twitter, I'll jump in his mentions again and ask him one more time.
Say, right. We know you're not a field goal kicker, but can you just kick the ball off? All right. So
why the hell did I say I promise I won't? It'll stay between me, you, and what was I? Why would I write that? Why? What is wrong with me, man?
You must have been drinking something that night.
One too many pops.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. This one's from Coach Yak on Twitter. He says, "Do you agree that we'll be in the top 10 in offense?" That's question number 1. 2, do you agree that Coleman is the featured back to start the season?
All right, let's start with the top 10 offense thing really quick.
Yeah, so the top 10 offense. Let's take it off with that first. Top 10 offense would be top 10 offense. Do I think we'll be in a top 10 offense? It really depends. I think we have the capabilities to be in a top 10 offense. I think where we'll get better is the red zone this year. And I really think that's where we'll get better is the red zone. And I think that will help us because I think we'll get yards and stuff like that. But if you go back and you look at games last year, there's games quarterbacks only threw for 179 yards and we still won games, but we moved the ball. It was whether it be run game was really good that week or whatever. So to be a top 10 offense, you got to have all cylinders checked, pass game, run game, blocking game, red zone. And you also have to be able to stay healthy. And that's really what it's going to boil down to. Is the capability there? Is the talent there? Yes, I believe so. Will we get better in the red zone this year? I think so. I would like to hope so because I'm tired of hoping and continuing to wait for the red zone to get better. I'm going to be optimistic and say that it does get better this year. And then if we can stay healthy, I think we could be a top 10 offense.
So there's a couple of different ways that a team can be top 10. Are we talking top 10 in scoring? Or are we talking top 10 in yards, which is how the NFL measures it? I'm gonna say yes, but my caveat is that we're going to be top 10 in yards. I believe we were 26th in scoring or something like that, 24th in scoring last year. I had all this stuff pulled up at one point, but I don't have it in front of me now. But I think we were like 15 or 16 in yards. I don't think it's a big jump for us to, have healthy running backs and have more weapons at wide receiver, and someone taking some pressure off of Kittle to think that the offense improves this year. Jimmy Garoppolo coming back, hopefully he's making quick decisions. I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes as far as yards go. As far as scoring, that I'm just not quite sure about. Until we see it, no, I do think that we improve in the red zone also, but we just got to see. So I'm going to say yes for as far as scoring goes. Ali, your call.
I'll answer this in a different way. So top 10 scoring, I'll answer it as if I think top 10 in scoring, and here's how I'll answer it. The teams that I have ranked that will be better than the 49ers, and then I'll tell you where they fall in. So the teams that will start, that in my opinion that will be better scoring offense than the 49ers, my in no particular order, Patriots is one. I think the Packers is another. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Cleveland Browns, the New Orleans Saints, and the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is, and the I almost said San Diego, LA Chargers.
Did you say Steelers?
No, I did not say Steelers. So the Chargers, the Patriots, the Packers, the Browns, the Saints, the Falcons. I didn't say the Falcons, and the Chiefs will all be better scoring offenses than the 49ers. So the 49ers, how many teams was that? That was about 8. So we'll be about the 9th highest scoring.
All right.
offense.
So yeah, I like that. That's not all right. That's not bad. Last year we were 16th in yards. I think I said 15th. We were 16th in yards, and as far as points per game, we were. Let me zoom back in here. Jesus, man, look at the Chiefs, man. They were kicking ass, bro. We were 21st in points. So it's a big jump. Sorry, go ahead.
Somebody in the chat just said I look like Russell Wilson with a few more pounds.
I couldn't stop laughing. He said, "Yo, Ali looks like Russell Wilson with a few more pounds." Oh my God, you need those dreads, bro.
I should get my voice real deep like this, and hey fam, we signed that contract tonight with Seattle. Sierra's next to me. We about to get signed off, fam. Go Hawks.
All right. You went far enough. You didn't have to say those last 2 words on our show.
Okay. I'm imitating him.
I got you. A+ on the attempt there too. I like that, man. I like that a lot. All right. So are we going to circle back around? I mean, top 10 in scoring. I'm still going to say no. I don't think we're going to be top 10 in scoring. After looking at the list of everyone who was ahead of us last year, do you guys want to know who was ahead of us? It was damn near the entire league. Cleveland, Minnesota, Philly, Cincinnati, the Giants, Carolina, Green Bay, Baltimore. How was Baltimore ahead of us? They had Tampa, Houston, Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle, Chargers, Pittsburgh, Colts, Patriots, Saints, Rams, and Chiefs.
There's another one that I think that will be higher scoring than us, the Colts. So I didn't add them in. So we're right on the cusp of 10. So we could be like the 10th highest scoring offense in my opinion.
All right.
Russell Wilson just throws for 30 touchdowns every year, and everyone ignores it. But all right, that's cool. That's cool. You're a doppelganger. All right.
Let's not talk about that anymore.
All right. All right. I got one more question from the post on YouTube, Nick, and it says I don't know. Do you have other questions over there from Twitter? You do? Let's save mine until we go to the answering the stats one at the end, because it kind of ties into that. So let's go ahead and give it to you for the YouTube questions, and for the Twitter questions instead. Sorry.
All right. So Luke Wall says, is the current linebacker crew suited for wide 9 run defense?
All right, so I'll kick this one off. I think so. I was talking about how I think that the speed of those guys makes it easier for them to understand their assignments now, and they can see better where the running backs will be coming from. The gaps are wider, and so I think it helps. The problem with speed is that you sacrifice precision when you have more speed, and you don't need to be as precise in their pursuits for this. So I talked on that earlier. I won't keep going. I'll let you guys take your shot at answering it there.
Yeah, we talked about this before on the show, and I think the speed of the linebackers will help the defense in the wide 9. I think it will help a little bit more in the run defense, because you're going to be in a run particular type of defense. They're going to be pretty much gap assignments. And I think with their speed, they're going to be able to fill those gaps faster than a running back or so can fill that gap. So I think this will help us with their speed in that wide 9 run defense.
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you think the wide 9 is the current linebacker crew suited for wide 9 run defense?
I definitely think Warner and Kwon are. I don't know who that third linebacker will be. Is it going to be Elijah Lee? Is it going to be Malcolm Smith? So I don't know who that third linebacker, but I definitely think Warner and Kwon are. They're just good football players, man. I feel like they would succeed in almost any system. They're just good football players. Just to simplify it.
I think even if you have Malcolm Smith in there, I think Malcolm Smith's not as bad against the run as he is against coverage.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge Malcolm Smith fan. People view Malcolm Smith as really bad because of his contract, right? That's what makes him worse than he actually is. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his either. He's definitely on the back 9 last hole of his career. I think.
Contract or not, that dude he's not good. He's not good. So I'm with you on that. I'm not sure that he can beat out a third guy like Elijah Lee. I'm not sure, or not even Elijah Lee. Let's see what we have in Dre. You know what I mean? So we got to see. We got to see who's getting that third spot. He took that contract restructure, so I don't think the team feels as obligated to throw him out there. You go from, what was he supposed to be getting, $6-7 million or something like that, and they took it down to like 4 or 5. So,
well, hopefully Dre steps up. Like, that's why training camp's so awesome, because you could potentially cut Malcolm Smith and Dre Greenlaw can take that spot, right? That's something that you're hoping for. So we at Nothing But Niners throw our support 100% behind you, Dre. We got you.
I like that. You know what? I'll ask my question here because we're on linebackers. Now, this is the last question that I see from the post on YouTube, and it says, "Who gets more tackles, Kwon or Fred?" So, you guys want me to kick it off first? One of you guys want to take it?
I didn't hear you there.
Who will get more tackles, Kwon or Fred? Kwon Alexander, Fred Warner. I'm gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Fred Warner just because I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure why I'm gonna go with Fred Warner over Kwon. It's a really good question. I'm gonna give it to the green dot guy, and I'm gonna go with Fred.
I'm gonna go with Kwon. Fred Warner, yes, it has had a hell of a year last year, but this is really his second year, and I'm not even sure if he'll be playing Mike because it's an interchangeable position. So who knows who will be playing that position? You may see Kwon at Mike once in a while, and you may see Fred at Mike once in a while. It's going to be a little different, but I think Kwon's experience, and if you get him, I think Kwon is a little more athletic when healthy than Fred right now. And not to say that Fred is bad or anything like that, because I think he's going to be a great linebacker. I think he just still has a lot of room to improve. Not that he didn't play well, but I think Kwon steps up if healthy this year and leads the team in tackles.
Yeah, I personally think Fred's gonna lead the team. I like what I saw from him year one. He jumps off the screen when you're watching our defense. He's someone in that who just has a nose for the ball, and I really like him, and I think he will be a tackle machine for us. So hopefully that duo could be the next great 49ers linebacker duo.
Mike, can you do me a favor? I know I'm not big on PFF, but going back and watching the games as I am for the entire season, Fred seemed to have a lot of missed tackles last year as well. Can you tell me what that count was? Let
me pull it up really quick.
Yeah, just because going back, there was a lot of tackles that he missed. Even on that. So do you guys remember the play where he ended up catching up to somebody punching the ball out? I forget what team it was. That
was week 1 versus the Vikings.
Versus the Vikings. He actually missed that tackle in the box. He was one of the ones that missed the tackle in the box and then got up and chased down the Viking and popped the ball out. But I saw a lot of missed tackles on his part, rewatching games so far this year. And I wasn't counting them, but I'm just kind of interested to see how many missed tackles that he had last year. So,
yeah, I think that's definitely going to be interesting. That's a good question because that's a tougher one to predict. But if Fred, it comes down to simple. If Fred Warner's more healthier than Kwon, you know what I mean? Well, is Kwon going to be 100% this year? We don't really know, right? That's not a question we have an answer for right now. And so I think just based off health, you have to take Fred.
Now, see, I think, like I said, differently. If he's healthy, I think he's more of an athlete. If healthy, 100% healthy.
Wait, you think who is more of an athlete?
Kwon. Kwon is way better in coverage than Fred Warner is. He's way faster than Fred Warner is, and he has good coverage skills.
I don't know about that.
Well, but you also haven't watched as much Kwon as I have. I lived in Tampa, so.
But I also know that you got to remember where Fred Warner's coming from. This guy plays safety also. Well, we'll see. I got his stats here. Let me see defensive grade chart. And come on.
And I'm not saying that it was a lot. I'm just kind of interested to see how many it was.
Trying to get it all pulled up here. They have his grades, but it's hard for me to get stats for some reason. Let me go back.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll pull up another question and we'll talk about that.
All right, yeah.
We can go. So, let's see here. one that I haven't asked yet. David Roy says, should we lock up Buckner before the season starts or wait to see him play out another year?
All right. So sorry, don't answer it. You wanted to know how many missed tackles he had?
Yeah.
All season, 16.
Okay. And then
that ain't shit. That's one a game. That's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all. But it just looked like there was more than
you said for Fred Warner, right?
And taking into consideration, he wasn't playing with anyone next to him that was really like a good player. He's not playing to the next to like a Reuben Foster or anything. He was playing basically all year with Elijah Lee and who was the other guy?
Malcolm Smith came in.
Malcolm Smith a bit, and we had a
Martin Zalcha and Elijah Lee.
Yeah, we had a rotation of guys come in and play.
What game did you say he didn't look good in, Nick?
Well, I couldn't remember. I was just saying that one game against Minnesota, I know he missed a couple tackles.
That was week 1.
Yeah.
PFF has him with one missed tackle.
Yeah, which was probably the one that he came back on and made that
Kansas City, he had 4 missed tackles. That was pretty bad.
Like I said, I couldn't remember what game it was. I just know, like, watching throughout, there was it seemed to be a lot of missed tackles, but it could have just been, like you said, watching one game, and I seen those games, and it's just I wasn't really counting. So,
no, I got you. He really seemed to tighten up down. Nah, he was pretty sporadic. He's got a couple of games with no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games where he didn't miss a tackle at all. So he's not bad. He had 90 total solo tackles, not assisted ones. 90 total solo tackles. I'm excited to see this guy play again, man. And
me too.
That was as a rookie too.
I love the kid. I mean, I think he has the potential to be one of the next greatest linebackers. I'm just saying that I still think he has a lot of room to improve, and that's not a knock on him. That's just constructive criticism.
Mike, do me a favor. I'm just curious to see how many, because Darius Leonard was probably the best rookie linebacker last year, right? You'd have to say. Mm-hmm. So do me a favor and pull up his PFF and see how many missed tackles he had.
Darius Leonard.
Yeah.
All right, really quick. I want to say this really quick. We were talking about who was better in coverage. Now, again, this is just PFF, guys, so take it for a grain of salt. Kwon's coverage grade is a 67.7, and if you look, if you look at who was the other guy we were talking about?
Fred Warner.
Oh. No, Fred Warner had a 67 point.
Oh, Kwon Alexander.
Kwon Alexander, that's who it was. Sorry, something happened over here. I didn't know what was happening. Kwon Alexander's numbers. He had let me see here. Kwon Alexander is now with the 49ers. I won't do career. I will look for his best year because there's only 1 year to compare, so I won't do that. I know last year, but that was only 7 games. So let me do a career. Last year, it was a 57.1. They do have him, as in PFF, they have him rated slightly faster than Fred Warner. And they had Fred Warner's speed at a 4.37 and Kwon Alexander's speed at a 4.55. If we look at his overall grades here, all right. Coverage grade, I told you that already, but let me look over overall. His best year in coverage was a 72.8. That was 2016. He had a 42.4 in 2015, a 72.5 in 2017, and a 57.1. 2018, that was a year of injury. I don't think they do an overall based off of like all of his years together. So that's right. Just like, we're not going to get any more. So he's up and down. He's inconsistent.
Well, 2014 he was down, and then he right? So what was it? When was he a rookie? 2015?
Yeah, 2015 was his rookie year, 42.4.
Right. Then he went up to the 70s. Then he stayed in the 70s. Then he went down to the 50s after he got injured with only 7 games.
Right. But in those 7 games, he was a 57.1.
Right. But I mean, it's averaged over
the 7 games. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if he played 16, he probably would have been higher than a 40 or 56. Just because of average wise. But either way, in the 70s, he did, since his rookie year, he's progressed other than last year when he got hurt.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I think his numbers would have been a little worse.
7 career interceptions.
I'm looking at his, would you say career interceptions?
Yeah.
I know he's got some forced fumbles. I'm not sure about interceptions. I think he's got like 6 forced fumbles. Yeah, 78 missed tackles here. They don't have interceptions listed at all on PFF for some reason. I did want, but all right. So his worst game came against the Saints in Week 1. He didn't play them again, and another team in their division that. Oh wait, never mind. He's on that team. I was gonna say that passes a lot that he didn't play is the Bucks, but he didn't. Of course, he can't play them. But he only played the Falcons once. Also, they could have got him. He didn't play the Panthers at all. So I'm not sure what his grade would have been like. All right. You asked the question about Buckner, and then you wanted me to look up who was that, Ali?
Darius Leonard.
Darius Leonard. All right.
So, Ali, while he's answering that, do you think we should sign Buckner during the offseason, or do you think we should let him play out 1 year?
Hell no. Sign his ass up, because he is going to beast this year. You're getting DeForest Buckner, D Ford, and Nick Bosa as additions to him next to him. I don't care who even is playing that other spot on that line. That he is gonna feast this year. DeForest Buckner is one of my current favorite 49ers, and I think that he needs to be signed to an extension yesterday. So I would definitely sign him right now.
What was your question about Darius Leonard, Ali?
How many? I want to see in comparison how many missed tackles Darius Leonard had in comparison to Fred Warner.
Oh, just last year.
Yeah.
Missed tackles. He had 11. Fred Warner had 16.
16.
Yeah.
Well, interesting.
Yep. All right, that was easy. And as far as when I would sign or extend, I don't know. I would do it whenever. We don't seem pressed to extend anybody else. We don't have to put the money somewhere right now. So there's no need to not do it now. He's only going to get more expensive in the future because another guy will sign. He's not, I'm going to say it anyway. You don't want him to have a really good year. Right now, I don't have him as a top 10 defensive interior lineman. So I would go ahead and give him, top 10, top 7 to 12 money. I put him in that range because I think he's going to have a monster year with the pass rush that we're expected to have coming off of the edges. So I would go ahead and extend him now because it works better that way. That's the way to do it as far as from a team saving standpoint. If I'm Buckner, though, I don't want an extension this year. Let me go out here and let me try to get, 14 or 15 sacks, double-digit sacks in back-to-back seasons. I'm getting better with time, and then, that'll be it. So that's what I would do if I was Buckner. From a team standpoint, you definitely want to do it now. So, Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. To benefit the team, I think you get him signed now. To benefit himself and his agent, he's going to wait until after this year now that he's got help. Because it's either going to bite him in the ass or it's going to make him a lot richer. And that's basically what it's going to do. Because if you come out and you don't produce this year, when you have help, they're going to look at you and say, well, okay, maybe that year was such a fluke. You know what I mean? Where you get 12.5, 13.5 sacks, whatever it was last year. And then we bring you in help and your numbers go down. So it could either bite him in the ass or it could really help him. If he has a huge year, it could help him get paid. If he has a down year, it could fluctuate that contract deals as well. But I personally, as a team right now, I would re-sign him now.
You're the only one with remaining questions. I went through all of mine, so toss the next one out here to us. And we said we're going to come back to the general comment about predictions. So,
all right. So, David Royce again says, "What's the Niners' biggest issues on the O-line?"
That one guard spot. Is it Person? Is it someone else? Is it going to be Garnett? That's my biggest issue. I don't know who's going to be playing there, because the other 4 spots, you can't. I'm pretty happy with the other 4 spots. So you have the Twin Towers in Staley and McGlinchey on the tackles, and then you got Tomlinson and Richburg. Richburg, I don't know. How do you guys think Richburg played last year? So that's the other than Person and Garnett. I'm not sure.
I didn't have Richburg graded that good last year. He struggled at times. He was a liability out there. He didn't live up to the hype. That's for damn sure. So, but I don't think that he's going to be the biggest worry. They came out with the excuse pretty quick following the season that he was playing with an injury. I'm concerned about both guard positions, honestly. I know you're talking about just the right side between Person and Garnett, but Lincoln Tomlinson is coming back from an injury also. So this offensive line may take a step back, even though they're bringing back the same 5 guys. And I don't think that the team was sold on Person. They let him touch free agency. If this is someone that you thought was going to be your guy, why let him get to free agency? Why not extend him? Why not? I don't know. Well, never mind. Yeah, we did use a tag. I was going to say, were we planning on tagging anybody? But stupid kicker. So, we let him touch free agency, and someone could have signed him immediately. That was dangerous. If this is the guy that you think is integral to your team's success, you don't let him go. You don't. You got him in-house, you extend him right away. And they didn't do that. So I think that there was someone that they were looking at, they didn't get, and they were like, all right, let's grab Mike because he's still out there and he's familiar with the system. I'm not sure that he's the guy, which tells me that they don't think he was that good. But, he was solid. His stats say that he was okay, but, stats are stats. So.
All right, so I'm going to answer this a little differently. I don't think it's a specific person or position that I'm worried about. I want to see our team get better in pass blocking, the entire offensive line. And that's the most worrisome thing for me with this team. Run blocking, this O-line is great. Pass blocking, they could definitely take a couple steps up. I think they were not as good in pass blocking. And what I mean by that is not holding their blocks long enough, I guess you could say, or getting beat a lot in crucial times in pass blocking. So that's what is my most worrisome thing about the O-line, not specifically a person. I think as a unit, they need to get better in pass block. You're on mute.
I saw a question in the chat that asked if it was true that Fred Warner played all of our defensive snaps last year. I can't find a total defensive snaps count, but he did play in all 16 games. I don't know what that is. He did play in all 16 games, and the lowest snap count was 68 snaps in week 4 or 5. I don't remember who we played that week, but that was his lowest snap count. Everything else was in the 70s and 80s. So it's possible that he played all of our defensive snaps. I don't remember who that was that asked that question, but I wanted to get that answered for them. All right.
All right. So I have another one. So Eric Furpo, he said, here's a question. Hated to hear Shanahan get so excited talking about how good CJ Beathard looks so far. Does he beat out Nick Mullins for the backup quarterback spot?
I'm not going to waste time. No.
No. I don't think so either. We saw too many good things last year from Mullins. And this is not saying anything to CJ, but just Mullins is a better quarterback. He makes better decisions with the ball. He goes through his reads. Beathard, sometimes when he was playing quarterback, I was literally sitting there yelling at my TV, throw, get rid of it. He has no clock. He doesn't have it up here. Shanahan lays it out for you, like lays it out for you. Like all you have to do is go out and execute, and he didn't do that.
I just thought this would be an interesting question because Mike is always reading demeanors and reading how coaches and players and react and things like that. So I thought it'd be an interesting question because Kyle Shanahan did kind of hype CJ Beathard up in that presser. And it was, well, CJ's getting all the snaps today and Nick Mullins will get tomorrow, but CJ is doing really, really well. Oh, well, so you mean that Nick and CJ are getting the same amount of snaps? Well, CJ's getting the snaps today, and Nick will get them tomorrow, but CJ looks really, really good. Like, he kept going back to how CJ looked. And to me, that scares me. That literally scares me. So the reason that it scares me is because I know Beathard is trash. I just need this monkey off my back that Kyle Shanahan is not riding CJ Beathard's jock. Like, I really need to know that if he's not the number 2 quarterback, that he's either A, gone, or B, traded and gone, or B, Nick Mullins just takes over at that spot. Because that press conference made me really nervous, to be honest.
It's positioning, man. You know, if you, you know, this is the guy that you put your name on. So you got to show confidence in him, and he's done that. He stood by this guy. He's constantly beating the drum on him. During that same presser, you know, he was talking, you know, Beathard is this, Beathard is that. He's doing this, he's doing that. And then Grant got a chance to circle back around and say, all right, well, what are some of the things that Nick is doing? He was like, basically the same thing I said about Beathard. That was it. He didn't want to elaborate. He didn't want to, you know, praise him up too much. Look, I think he's trying to give him confidence and let the guy let loose. But I also think that it could be trade bait. I think that he's trying to talk him up as if he's some good commodity. You know, he's taking steps, leaps and bounds this offseason. He's significantly better than what he was last year. And maybe, all it takes is one team. All it takes is one team to take the bait. That's it.
Yeah, to buy the hype.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it takes. And trust me, there's going to be guys out there. Think about this, right? Right now in Green Bay, there's someone else implementing Shanahan's offense. All right, their coach over there, LaFleur, he's over there. He's implementing this offense. You got the Rams. Now the Rams just signed a backup. I can't remember what his name is, but they just signed someone to be the backup over there. You know, but there are people out there who are trying to take the Shanahan offense and make it their own. And you know, they need someone that's familiar with the system. You get a guy like CJ Beathard to be the backup because he knows it. You know, this is year 3 of it. He's probably more comfortable in it than Aaron Rodgers would be right now. You know what I mean? They're already having conflicts and stories coming out of Green Bay that Aaron Rodgers wants to audible at the line, and this system isn't designed for audibles. It's designed for options, not audibles. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm not saying that CJ Beathard is going to go take Aaron Rodgers' job or anything like that, but you want someone who can execute in practice and get the rest of the team up to par for everything. So I think that it's a little bit of politicking and positioning. So I took it all with a grain of salt. I don't think that Shanahan meant everything that he said. You have to build up your weakest link. You have to. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and if that's CJ Beathard, you got to try to strengthen it somehow. You sing his praises at the microphone in front of the press. He can't go to the microphone and say, yeah, the dude sucks. It's not a real competition. As soon as it's time for the cut downs, he's going to be gone. He can't go up there and do all that. So
no, I know, I understand all that. I understand that. I think your explanation's good. I mean, it's still. I just wanted to ask that question because of the fact that I know you read demeanors, and I wanted to hear what your point was on Kyle Shanahan and his demeanor with CJ Beathard. So that's why I kind of thought it was a good question. This is kind of funny. Rico 49ers Empire said, in that pocket, his heart beats hard. LOL. He's whack. Get him out of here. I thought that was kind of funny.
His heart beats hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So I got some more questions here. All right, let's see here. All right, so Luke was talking about this. We were just talking about this with CJ. So do you expect the 49ers to pump and dump certain players in open practices and preseason games, calling plays and formations specific to what the player does well in the hopes of inflating trade value?
It's a good question.
Sorry. So the question again was, sorry?
Stop paying attention to the game or whatever you're watching.
I'm not. There's no game, bro. Sorry.
I can hear it. All right, so it says, do you expect the 49ers to pump and dump certain players in open practices and preseason games, calling plays and formations specific to what the player does well in the hopes of inflating trade value?
Well, I think that's what they're doing. That's what they did with CJ, right? I don't know. I don't know who else that they really would do that for, in terms of pumping up their tires for trade bait, unless they're trying to get maybe one of their running backs. Maybe they go with. We heard earlier in the year they were that Breida might be someone they're looking to get rid of. So maybe they go get rid of Breida, and pump his tires, and then go with I don't know, Coleman, McKinnon, Mostert as your three, and only keep three backs. So so I maybe him as another player. Trent Taylor is another one that maybe comes to mind. He is someone that early on in OTAs we've heard a lot of good things. So Trent Taylor has been making great catches. He's looked great. He's looked spry. He's healthy. But let's not forget who Trent Taylor is. He is who we think he is. He's a third down receiver that just gets the necessary yards, and he's not a Julian Edelman. He's not someone that you're gonna go to as your number one target, and he's not gonna emerge into a number one wide receiver. I think I've seen enough of Trent Taylor to safely say that he is not a number one wide receiver. But the way they're talking about him, they're saying right now people are that were there. They're like, oh, Trent Taylor's, he's looking great. They're talking to him like he's the number one wide receiver. He's not. So that's someone that they're pumping up the tires with. On the defensive side, defensive side, I'm not sure. Maybe Solomon Thomas, maybe him. This Solomon Thomas might be one. That's one I could see that they trying, because we've heard a lot of good things about Solomon so far. We've heard that he's mentally he's healthy, he's looked great, he's in great shape. So that's someone that they've been talking about that looks good. So he could be another one that they're pumping and dumping. Yeah.
I didn't, I always think about who's talking, who's getting talked up and praised up a lot. And so I agree with you, Ali, that Trent Taylor could be one of those guys that they do that and make him shine in preseason and all that. They could try it with a guy that, the competition is between him and Richard James, you know what I mean? Or him and Jordan Matthews. Imagine bringing Matthews in off the streets and then getting something for him in a trade. Imagine making Matthews look good, but I don't think they want to do that. So I like where you were going with Trent Taylor. I hear you with the Armstead thing, but I don't think that you're going to get much because of how much his contract is this year. I don't think you're going to get much for him on the trade, as far as trade value goes. But you do have to be mindful of who they've been speaking highly of so early and so often this time of the year. They know that there's no contact. They know that there's no pads even. Or so why the praise? Why the beating of the drum? You have Wes Welker taking interviews and talking about Trent Taylor in particular. So yeah, it's a good question. I do think that they do that. I do think that they try to make guys look good to drum up trade interest. Absolutely. We traded someone. Rashard Robinson was a guy that, they said he looked better. He was coming back, and then boom, he was gone. That was mid-season. And then there was someone else that we traded. Damn it. I can't remember.
Jeremy
Curley.
Yes, freaking Curley was a guy that was traded also. So they definitely do it. I maybe a running back gets traded, maybe. But I'm not comfortable getting rid of any of the running backs because you just don't. There's too many question marks out there.
I like what we saw from Albert Wilson last year. I was a big fan of his.
Oh, Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson Jr. Yeah,
Jeff Wilson. Sorry, Albert Wilson.
He was probably the most physical back out of the group, but I mean, I like Jeff too. I like Jeff a lot actually, but I'm still not. I wouldn't play Wilson over any of the guys that are out there right now, except Mostert. I mean, not Mostert, except McKinnon. And the only reason McKinnon is higher, or well, lower, I should say, is because we just haven't seen him do it. That's the only reason. But I expect McKinnon to be able to do more with the ball in his hands than Wilson. So we'll see, though. I'm just not sure where else there's a log jam that you can create trade value. Defensive line, maybe try to get something for Julian Taylor. If you really believe in Armstead, maybe they try to do something with a DJ Jones versus Armstead because they can't keep playing at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it works out, but it's going to be very interesting to see who they're calling plays for and towards. And
even to Sheldon Day, like he's been getting a lot of first team reps, right? That's someone that I could see them getting rid of. That's we're not really expecting Sheldon Day to be there starting week 1, right? So that's interesting to me. That's a name that just popped up in my head.
Why do you not see Sheldon Day being there day 1 is my first question. But 2, I think with the whole Eric Armstead thing, I think the thing that's going to hurt trade, I wouldn't trade a guy who plays that position as well because Eric Armstead's on his last year of his contract. And that's why it's going to be hard to trade him because he can go anywhere. He's going to be a free agent next year. So if you trade him for $9.5 million for this year, it's going to be hard to find a person that says we don't have him under contract, so why are we going to trade for him? He could literally just walk away. So
those kind of trades do happen though. And it comes with a stipulation that the teams work out a deal before the trade is finalized.
Right, but I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying it's harder to trade a player who's not under contract for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, but we just did it this offseason too. That's how we got DeForest. It was a tag, and he could have said, "I'm just going to play this way and go." But I think, like I said, there's certain plays that they do. I get what you're saying. That player has to be willing to deal and negotiate a new contract.
Knowing that we don't have that second round pick, is there anybody of value on this team that would get us a second round pick back that we can trade? That's it. You could get more than a second round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, you can't.
I think you can.
No way. Jimmy Garoppolo is not going for more than a second round pick. The contract, and he hasn't done anything except get injured. There's no way. You're not getting more than that from him. The hype has to wear off at some point, and I think people are right there on the cusp of it. You're not getting more than a second round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. In my opinion, I don't want to make it like I'm speaking gospel over here. Buckner could probably warrant you a second round pick. And the only reason I'm saying probably is because he's only been there for 4 years.
Frank Clark went for, I know it's a different position, but he went for a lot more. I think Buckner could easily get you multiple firsts, or a first or a second.
You're overvaluing Buckner, and you're overvaluing interior linemen versus edge players. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm trying to think of someone who's really good that the Niners could get a first round pick for off of this roster.
I don't see anybody on this roster you can get a first round pick for.
You might. I mean, it wouldn't happen.
You may have a few seconds.
You could get a first for Kittle. Definitely, you can get a first for Kittle.
I still don't see it. Even though he had one good year, he's had injuries.
I think you guys are not giving enough value to our players.
Kittle's
He's going in
Hold on, I'm mute.
year 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he broke the single season tight end record last year. Like, come on, man.
Kittle, I think I would say Kittle to a team like New England that still needs a tight end and that we would use him the right way. I could see that happening, but I also think that there's a relationship there and they wouldn't ask that from them. You know what I mean? And then the other teams that need tight ends really bad, they went out and drafted them in the first round this year. You know, there was 2 tight ends that went in the first round, right? So I'm not sure.
Yeah, but New England didn't draft a tight end in the first round, did they?
No.
Oh,
but the not the Packers, the Lions did.
Yeah, the Lions did, yeah. My other question, so I want to hear about Shelton. Why are we not expecting Shelton Day to be here day 1?
What do you mean? But I mean as a starter. I meant as a starter.
Well, I don't think. I mean,
yeah, no. Ali's point was that he's getting the word is he's getting first team reps, and then we don't expect him to be a first team player.
I definitely think Sheldon Day is part of the roster, but I don't think that he's a starter.
Right. So then it becomes why is he there and why are they making it known that he's there?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, who else plays there? Armstead's going to play there.
Armstead and Solomon Thomas. Both of those guys
are going to play there.
Both of those guys should be ahead of him on the depth chart. For all intents and purposes, they should be.
They should be.
Yeah. So it's a curious thing. Why is it happening that way?
I mean, I don't know if I really take the whole first team snaps and the second team snaps right now, like really serious in OTAs or minicamp, because I think you're kind of just getting a feel of what you have. You've seen receivers like you've seen Deebo Samuel playing with the 1s. You've seen Deebo Samuel playing with the 2s. You've seen other people playing where, with 1s and 2s. You've seen Dante Johnson taking snaps with 1s. So, like, I really wouldn't bleed too much into that. So
it's rough because, especially for defensive linemen, there's no pads. The contact is minimal, if at all. So it's rough to look into it that way. But I mean, we'll see, guys. We'll see. We'll know when training camp and that they really start hitting. That's when we'll know when the pads go on. We'll have a better idea of what's what. But why report it then? You know what I mean? Why is it being reported? So that's something that I'm very interested in. I also think and believe that coaches know when practices are open, and so they don't show all their cards. We're not going to show you our fantastic forward front. You know what I mean? We're not going to put that all out there for you guys to see. So, we already knew Bosa wasn't out there. So someone was playing edge coming from the other side. We know that we can't pretend like Buckner's position might be in flux. So Buckner's got to be out there with the starters. And we also know that we just traded a future second-round pick and made him, the 7th highest paid edge rusher in the NFL. So we can't pretend like DeForest isn't going to play with the 1s. What we can do is pretend like Solomon Thomas won't play with the 1s. We can pretend like Eric Armstead won't play with the 1s and try to mix it up, because these are the reports that we get following the open practices. These aren't the reports that come out just randomly. These are all following open practices when coaches know people are going to be there and they're going to be talking and reporting on it. So we have to take it all with a grain of salt. They manipulate the media that way. That's what they want to do. So,
yeah. All right, so I got one more question here. I think that's it for questions. Luke again. He says, which factor was the primary reason Coleman was signed? A, 49ers need more running depth. B, insurance so Shanahan doesn't have to scramble the playbook a week before opening game if McKinnon isn't ready. C, red zone production. Or D, other. He says he would go with B, the insurance so Shanahan doesn't have to scramble the playbook a week before opening game if McKinnon isn't ready. So what are your thoughts on that?
I would remove B as a possibility at all, considering that these guys, Jeff Wilson, Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, those guys got significant playing time. Even Day was active. So I don't think that is that. I don't think that he's worried about the playbook at this point. These guys got some time in the system. As far as depth goes, I don't even think the Niners need depth. We actually have a log jam at that position now also. And what was C? I don't remember what C was. I'm sorry.
That's all right. C was red zone production.
Yeah, no, I'm not. We broke down the stats here, and what was it, once or twice he's ever had more than one rushing touchdown in the game in his entire career. So I don't think it's that either. I think he brought him in here for McKinnon insurance in particular. Not so much about depth.
That's what B said.
What was B? No, B was about depth. And so let me explain. I don't think it's depth. I think Shanahan likes.
He said B is insurance, so Shanahan doesn't have to scramble the playbook a week before opening game if McKinnon isn't ready.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's about. All right, so maybe I can see how you're looking at it. I don't think it's about the playbook at all. I don't think it's about the playbook at all. I think Shanahan is comfortable with Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida, and Wilson's knowledge of the playbook. That's why I said I would throw that out. I don't think it's about the playbook. However, I do think it's specifically about McKinnon. McKinnon not being ready and not knowing how he's going to bounce back. We've never seen it. He has never been RB1. He's never even been RB2. And I don't think Coleman was brought in to be RB1 either. So it's if McKinnon isn't who we thought he was, or if McKinnon re-injures himself, what are we going to do? I think it's specifically about McKinnon. And maybe that's where your trade bait comes in, one of those guys. But I don't think it's about the playbook. That's why I said I would scrap B. I was focusing on the playbook part, but I see what you're saying. It could have been about McKinnon. So
yeah,
I think the Coleman ad was just about getting a good player that was comfortable in Shanahan's system. They worked magic back in Atlanta together, and I think Coleman wanted to come to somewhere that he was going to be comfortable and was going to be utilized, because not that they weren't utilizing him in Atlanta, but he was going to be utilized to the best of his abilities, and he knows that he has a wizard on the sideline calling him plays, and I think that was key for him. I honestly think it was just about adding talent to this backfield, and they can pass it up, because we all, for some reason, whether we did believe it or we didn't believe it, we heard those Le'Veon Bell to 49ers rumors earlier in free agency, right? Now I think I believe those rumors more because we signed Coleman. So I think we were in free agency, and that the plan, I think they really were trying to just add more talent there, and I think they achieved that in doing that with Coleman. They were unfortunate in not getting Bell, but especially at his price point. But I think Coleman is actually a better fit here, and he could be one of the team leaders in production. So I'm really excited, and I think that that's why they brought him here.
Yeah, I mean,
so Ali gave us an other. It was just a good guy available for the cheap. Let's get him and bring him in. I
kind of agree with that, because you heard Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch both say we didn't expect Tevin Coleman to be there, but he was, and he's a good football player. And Kyle Shanahan had experience with him in his system, so why not go get him? It kind of falls under the insurance, and it kind of falls under the other, because A, it is bringing in more depth, and B, it's still other because they weren't planning on picking up a running back when somebody that you like comes available, you pick them up and see how it works out. So I think it's kind of both answers for me. But I agree with you. I think Tevin Coleman's not going to be that number one guy. I don't think McKinnon's going to be that number one guy. I think it's deserved to go to Breida right now. And, but we'll see what happens.
I've been thinking about this, who can we get a second round pick thing for? Just take it at face value. Don't look at anything else, right? Could we give a 7-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro corner up for a second-round pick? Could we get a second-round pick for Richard Sherman?
Well, you probably could, but I think he has a no-trade clause. So, but I mean, I think you could probably still get. I don't know. That's a tough question. Face value wise, the way that I watch him play, probably not. His whatever he has done in the NFL to where people don't continually to throw at him, it may warrant one. Do I think he's worth a second round? No. Do I think you can probably get one? I think there's probably somebody stupid enough in the NFL to give you one.
Well, when I said at face value, what I meant was don't talk about depth and, well, who's going to play instead and da-da-da. That's what I meant by face value. Look at Richard Sherman. Look at what he was. His name is big still. Could we get a second-round pick for him?
I think somebody's stupid enough to give you a second-round pick.
I don't think so. I don't think so. There's film out there. They saw how he played last year.
He was still one of the top corners in the league last year. He still didn't get thrown at. So they're not watching the same tape as we are because
I don't think he was that great that last year. He was
right. I'm saying I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was good, but teams were still not throwing at him.
Yeah, right. I
there's
hear
value. There's value in that, and I get what Nick is saying. We watched the Packers game in the playoffs where Aaron Rodgers literally didn't target Richard Sherman one time the entire game.
They were open. They were open. Richard Sherman was not covering. When you go back and watch the All 22, Richard Sherman was getting burned and done like Dookie, but not a single team would look over there to throw at him. Not a single team.
I think that changes this year because of our pass rush.
Yeah, but I also think he's a lot better this year because I think he can. Mike, what was that? He would turn like inside. He would do like a complete 360 to get into mode because he couldn't cut that one certain way with his foot. If he can open up the way that he likes to open up, because this was the first year I went back and watched Seattle tape, he wasn't doing that.
No, that's not true. Eric Crocker also did a whole thread on it. He said he was doing it at certain times in Seattle, but you guys have to remember this. I never said this to Eric. He said that this injury has been lingering for like 2 or 3 seasons.
Right, and then it just popped.
Right, so later in his career, he started doing it, and it still could be due to the injury. It just wasn't as significant as it was. You know what I mean? But he said he always felt it. He knew at some point he was going to have to get this surgery done. He was putting it off, and then it finally gave out on him. So he was doing it towards the latter part of his career in Seattle. So go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off, but he was doing it, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I went back and watched tape on him in Seattle, he wasn't doing it. But then the last year in San Francisco, the year before in Seattle, and the end of the year before that is when he started doing it. And then that's when he said he started having that, feeling like it was going to pop. And he said it wasn't a matter of if it's going to pop. It was a matter of when is it going to pop. Like he literally came out and said that. Like he knew, he felt it, but there was nothing he could do. It was just a matter of sitting around and waiting for it to happen. And then when it happened, so now he kind of compensates. But if you go back and watch the tape, not a single team was looking over at him. Like you may have, you had a couple throws to him where you could see it and people were like, oh my God, he was wide open. Well, that happened a whole lot more than the times he got thrown to. But nobody, they watched the same tape. So to say, oh, well, I think that'll be different this year or, from last year, well, they watched the same tape as we watched, and I'm sure they're digging into it way more than we are, and there was dudes wide open. So they just still respect who Richard Sherman is, and I still think somebody's dumb enough to give you a second-round pick for him. Is he worth it? Probably not.
Plus with the belief that now he's back 100%.
Yeah.
So, there's still that allure there. I can't find the no trade clause. I'm looking. I have pulled up 4 different sites here trying to find out if there's a no trade clause here, and I haven't seen it yet. Maybe that's the answer right there, Ali. Maybe that's the one. So I don't know.
All right, should we get to the stack question?
Oof, I forgot about that one. All right, yeah. I will start with saying I think Jimmy Garoppolo leads the team in passing yards this year.
That's a bold take.
Thank you.
No, that's a good take.
There you
That's a
go.
bold.
All right, your turn. You guys, if anyone else wants to go somewhere else with it.
I think that's consensus.
Okay.
I think. Ooh, I'm gonna do a bold take here too. I think Matt Breida leads the team in rushing yards.
I'll agree to that. I don't think he leads the team in receiving yards, but I agree that you can't hear me.
Yeah, no, I was saying I agree.
I agree that he'll lead the team in rushing because I don't think that McKinnon's going to be a good rusher in the system. But I don't think he's going to lead the team in receiving yards from that position.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting there.
I can see that
No,
too.
I'm saying I don't agree. I agree with you that he's not going to lead. That's why I said rushing, not receiving.
I got you.
I agree. I know it's supposed to be a bit different, but I agree with your guys' thoughts on both those things as well. So,
all right, let's shake it up here. Who's our leading wide receiver in yards, not touchdowns? We'll do both, but give me yards first.
I'll go first. Dante Pettis.
I'm going Deebo Samuel.
All right. Shit. I was initially thinking Dante Pettis. I'm not mad at either one though. I'll stick with my guns. Dante Pettis is my answer. Now touchdowns for wide receivers. Yeah, I'll go first. Jalen Hurd. No, I'm kidding. Jordan Matthews.
What?
Jordan Matthews.
Are you serious?
I might agree with you on Jordan Matthews.
I'm very serious.
Wow.
I'm very serious.
I don't even know if he makes the team.
Yep. I think I agree with you, Mike, on Jordan Matthews. You know, I've been saying Jordan Matthews making his team since we picked him up. So
I'm gonna say Deebo Samuel.
What is Deebo Sam? Oh, I don't want to. Never mind. Nope, I'm not going to do that. We're not turning this into this. All right, I like that, Ali. I do like it.
His short area quickness. He's like Croc said. He's very twitchy. He can find separation in that red zone, and I think he's going to be a huge asset in that red area.
It's literally what everyone said about Trent Taylor, but I'll keep moving. I will keep moving.
Say, that's the same exact.
But he's bigger, right? Like he's there's other intangibles with Deebo that you like compared to Taylor. You know what I mean? I know people are saying the same things, but there's more meat on the bone with Deebo.
There's only in route running wise, Deebo has two things over Trent Taylor: speed and physicality. That's it.
And he's a better.
You need those in red zone.
And he's a better football player.
And you need those in red zone. So I get it. All right, let's keep it moving.
Tight end, unanimous.
Oh, you guys like Selleck too?
Get the fuck out of here.
I do think that Selleck will have more touchdowns than George Kittle.
I don't think Selleck's going to even play. He still has a concussion.
The team.
Yeah, he has a concussion. I don't know. That's coming up on 6-7 months concussion. So I don't know.
He doesn't have a concussion anymore. He just can't be tested to get out of the protocol. It's a stupid ass technicality that it's a rule in the NFL, but he doesn't have a concussion anymore.
What about Caden Smith?
I like him. If Selleck is not in or on the roster, I will take Kittle to lead the team from the tight end position in yards, but Caden Smith to lead the team in touchdowns for the tight ends. I will die.
See what you're doing here. You're taking all the hype in the red zone. I see what you're doing here.
Yeah. There's a reason we went out and got it this year. That's what I think, honestly. All right.
I think Toy Lolo has more touchdowns than Caden Smith.
Nah, he's never been a pass catcher. Ever. Like, that's just not his game. So I'm not worried about that.
I'm just saying, what is he, 6'7"?
Yeah, he's huge, but yeah, that's just not his game. That's not what he's here for. All right, so I think that's all the offensive positions, right? Let me ask you guys this. This is a negative one. What offensive lineman do you guys think gives up the most sacks? Throw you for a loop here, huh? Tick-tock, doc, tick-tock.
Who's ever playing that guard spot?
Which one, left or right?
Not the Tomlinson one, what is it, right guard or whatever.
Okay. Wow, that sucks because I'm really hoping.
I'm going to go with Tomlinson. To be honest, I'm going to go with Tomlinson.
Is Jimmy going to be mobile enough to avoid sacks like from back there with his brace?
No, but Shanahan's also going to be smart enough to make design plays to get rid of the ball quickly. Also, he's not going to leave his quarterback back there. If Jimmy's mobility is suffering enough where it's a liability, Shanahan's going to design plays to get the ball out quickly, and that's why you go out and you get guys like Hurd with good feet and Samuel with good feet and Pettis with good separation and short area quickness. That's why you go out and you make these acquisitions. There's no excuse for it. So
this is Jimmy. Even though this will be Jimmy's first full year in the thing, this is a massive year. I can't understand enough for Jimmy. We need a winning season from Jimmy. We do, you know.
Very important season for him.
There's no way to say this. Like in the past 5 seasons, I saw a stat. The Seahawks have had 5 winning seasons. The Rams have had 2 or 3. I can remember 3. The Cardinals have had 2. Guess how many the 49ers have had?
0.
Yeah.
That wasn't hard.
Yeah,
we haven't had a winning season since 2013, bro.
That's sad. It makes me physically sick. That stat.
I did say the other day that when we were talking about overall record, this team will go as far as Jimmy Garoppolo takes it. And that's pretty much the God's honest truth, I think. But I also don't think this is I said this the other night on the show, I believe. I don't really think this is – I think Jimmy – all hands are in on Jimmy for the rest of his contract.
I don't think this is the success of this team is contingent on Jimmy this year, believe it.
Lost sound. Yeah, I think that because of the fact that he is the leader of this team, and whether you see it or not, I think this team, you still see a difference in the way this team plays from when, even if it's CJ Beathard, you've seen it last year when Jimmy went down. You've seen a difference in play of how people rallied around CJ Beathard compared to rallying around Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo has a bigger leader factor of taking this team further than what people would put on CJ Beathard.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's just massive, man, just massive in terms of this season. I think if hopefully this doesn't happen, but if we have a losing season this year, someone's job's gone, because you can't. I don't know if it's front office, but we cannot afford to have a losing season this year.
I don't think the success of this season is contingent on Jimmy Garoppolo only, especially on offense. I think Shanahan has put the pieces in place where even if Jimmy gets hurt, he's got guys who can get open quickly and take a slant to the house. You got 2 guys on offense that can do that. You got 3 running backs on offense that can do that now, and that's including not counting McKinnon. I don't think that this offense is contingent on Jimmy. Jimmy has very, very few excuses this year. So I do think it's an important year for him, like what Ali was saying. If he looks bad this year, I think it's going to show that it's on him, not the system and not the supporting cast. People gave him a lot of credit because the supporting cast was bad his first season here, those last 5 games. And I get that. But this cast is very different now. And so that those excuses are gone. So I don't think that our success is contingent on Jimmy. I think that the pieces on offense are versatile enough where a lot of them are interchangeable. I think a lot of them can, like I said, take a 5-yard slant 80 yards. A lot of these guys can do that now. And so we don't need a Aaron Rodgers-esque quarterback performance. You know what I mean? He'll get those numbers if he's healthy and he's doing a decent job. If Jimmy Garoppolo comes in and he plays average, his stats will be above average. That's what I think. And so I don't think it's contingent on him for our offense to be successful.
Right, but don't you think the players will play better with Jimmy Garoppolo compared to a CJ Beathard in there? That's what I mean by contingent. Like,
I think they'll play better with
because Jimmy Garoppolo has a better quick release, has the quickest release on the team, and getting those players who are quick release guys in better positions to succeed. So this team is more contingent on Jimmy Garoppolo and the way he plays quarterback than the other two quarterbacks that are on this team.
No, because I think even Jimmy held the ball longer than Nick Mullins last year. I don't have numbers to prove that. We heard Ali talking about yelling at Beathard, throw the ball. We literally saw Shanahan yell that at Jimmy during that Lions game. We saw that happen. And I did it all year long too. Nick, you were here for a couple of those games where I was flipping out on Jimmy.
Did that a lot with Mullins as well.
Yeah, but Mullins was going through his progressions where Jimmy was even locking on a guy and just standing there and then patting the ball. But I honestly believe that Mullins can get rid of the ball in the play, not his release, but in the play just as quick as Jimmy. Beathard, no. The question you asked was, do you think that they'll do better with Jimmy because over Beathard? Yes. But I think I think Jimmy and Mullins, like this is Jimmy, Mullins is here, and Beathard is here. Like, I don't think that we take a huge step back if we, God forbid, have to rely on Mullins. So that's what my point was.
No, and I agree with you. But if we don't know what that position is yet at that number 2 position, so excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry. If CJ Beathard wins that spot because he was the number 2 quarterback before, and I'm just basing this off of what he was before, I think this season is more contingent on this offense is more contingent on Jimmy Garoppolo and moving the football than having CJ Beathard in there. If it's Nick Mullins, I'm okay with Nick Mullins. But God forbid something happens to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Hold up. You sneezed. It's something weird popped in my head. I got to talk about it. Why do people say bless you after people sneeze?
Because it takes your breath away.
Huh?
Because when you sneeze, it's mainly because of a lack of oxygen.
Who came up with that?
I don't know who came up with it. That's just the way it is. Because you're taking another breath, and it's like, oh, God blessed you.
Ah.
Because
Okay.
you stop breathing when you sneeze, and it's like your lack of whatever. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I'm serious. That's where it came from.
No, I believe you.
So, all right. Well, Mike, so let's do defense. Who leads the team in sacks?
DeForest.
I agree.
Yeah, that's 3. I was gonna say Bosa, but
you never seen him do it. That's
exactly.
Right. All right. I'm surprised that neither one of you guys were with Buckner.
Bosa legit pulled his hamstring just doing basic stuff. Like they were just doing like
pull his hamstring.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's why they pulled him.
No, he didn't pull a pulled hamstring and a tweaked hamstring is totally different.
You know what I meant. You know what I meant.
Out for the season.
You know what I meant. But I don't know if both. I hope he is, but I don't know if Bosa is going to stay healthy for a full campaign. So I think DeForest is why I'll agree with the both of you there. What about interceptions? Interceptions, I'll say I will say
I can't believe neither one of you guys took Buckner to lead the team in sacks. He's going to get so many one-on-ones. He led the team in sacks last year, eating up double teams.
But he still struggles with one-on-ones.
All right. I'm just saying I'm surprised. That's all. I wouldn't be mad at some Buckner love. I'm not giving it to him, but I'm just saying. All right, Ali, I'm sorry. Did you get your guy?
I will say Richard Sherman for interceptions.
Getting traded for a second-round pick, bro. I'm playing. Nick, who do you think, man?
Interceptions? I'm going with Akello.
Nice.
Has he been a?
I think teams are still going to be afraid to throw to Richard Sherman's side, and they're going to be pressed and throw to Witherspoon's side.
See, the thing is in college, was Akello even a guy that forced a lot of turnovers? Like, he hasn't really been that guy, and so I don't know if that changes this year.
Well, he was like a lockdown guy in man. So we heard Eric talk about, playing man versus zone and which one is more likely to get you interceptions, because you have your back turned to the quarterback in one, and then the other one you're keeping your eyes on the quarterback and you're passing defenders off. So it's going to be a little bit harder no matter what.
Can I change mine?
Yeah.
I'm going to change it to Tart.
God damn it. I should have said no. All right. I got a backup. But all right. Why'd you change it to Tart?
I feel like in the new system, I think Tart's going to really stand out, and I think that he's just going to be roaming back there and looking for the QB because his QB's going to make a quick decision, and I think Tart, he was close to a few turnovers last year, and he just didn't hold on to the ball. So I think that changes this year, hopefully, and I think he's going to lead our team in interceptions.
That's what my answer was going to be, but I'm going to change it now to whoever our slot corner is. And the reason is going to be, I don't know who's going to win that battle, but I do think there's going to be a lot of tip balls at the line of scrimmage and quarterbacks trying to get rid of the ball quickly. And you don't want to ever throw it downfield on a hurry play. So try to do a quick dump off or something over the middle. Ball goes up in the air. Boom. Our slot guy is going to be the closest one to it. I'm going to give it to that position. But originally I did want to say the safety because of everything else that I just said.
I had JD on the show the other night, and he said something interesting, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. I asked him who the starting corners was going to be, and he said Akello and Richard and Sherman. And I said, well, where's Barrett going to play? And he said Barrett's going to play the slot.
No, he's not. I don't even know if Barrett ever played slot.
I don't either.
I think I don't want to get yelled at right now. The chat's going to kill me if I say what I think. Can we do that later?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know. All right. So we got sack leader, interception leader. Who will have the most tackles? I'm going to stick with Fred Warner.
I'm going to go with Kwon.
I'll stick with Warner.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it, man. Let's wrap this thing up. We might be good enough to start this as a podcast. We got to wrap it up now, though. I want to thank you guys for checking us out here, man. We really appreciate it. Hit the website, nothingbutniners.com. Check out the podcast side also, guys. Look for us, NB Niners, 49ers, Nothing But Niners. You'll find us there. Ali, man, thanks for jumping on. Nick, this was a blast. I had a good time. I am 49ers Mike _NFL. Ali is Elias01 on Twitter.
Finally got it.
And Nick is 49er Faithful 365. The main page is nothing but the number 9 ERS. We're up out of here, man. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We out of here. Peace.